Hello everyone, welcome to another Professionally Unprofessional. I'm Calvin Eckers, Nerd Consultant, joined once again by my good friends Reese and Elliot.
Hello everyone.
What up, friends?
And let's get straight down to it. We're covering the kickoff show for the Summer Games Fest 2022. We decided to do it this year because mainly...
We hate ourselves.
Well, it was because last year, Summer Games Fest sort of proved that they could be part of the big boys. They had the biggest trailer of the summer. So it's I kind of felt we needed to do it this year, considering that they had Elden Ring last year, that they might have something that big this year.
Yeah.
I don't think we would have gotten anything as big as Elden Ring, let's be honest. That was like last year, that was the most hyped game, ever, pretty much. Even beating Breath of the Wild 2, for example.
Yeah, I mean, admittedly, you could say that, but I was kind of had some... It's also made interesting by the fact this guaranteed a much larger audience, considering, well, there's no E3 this year.
Yep, it's cancelled once again.
So...
well, I don't think it was cancelled in 2020. It was more just went all digital. This year is actually cancelled.
But they have vowed to come back in 2023, and after seeing this show, I really hope they do. I feel like I think E3 has something that Summer Game Fest doesn't have.
Calvin, what are you talking about? This show was so good. I mean, Jeff Keighley was in it. The Rock promoted an energy drink. Actually,
His own energy drink. Don't forget.
Yeah, he owns that company. That's what I found interesting. I'll tell you, though, I'll tell you the reason what I think it is, because I want to get straight to the point on this one. When you watch E3, you know what you're getting. It's like, do you like Bethesda stuff? Here's the Bethesda show. Do you like Square Enix? Here's the Square Enix show. Are you a Nintendo Switch owner? Here's the Nintendo Direct. With this show, this is the same problem I have with the Game Awards, but it feels amplified here. It's just a mishmash of all these different things. It's like they're trying to please everyone, but as a result, they're pleasing no one. I think they need to focus.
Yeah, I find it funny that at the very beginning, Jeff Keighley was kind of, I think, so promoting his thing and dissing on E3 basically by saying, it doesn't matter if you're an Xbox owner, a PlayStation owner, a Switch owner, you get everything. You'll get what you want here. And you just think, in E3, you can just watch a conference you cared about. In other words, in this one, you've got maybe 3 games you cared about, and everything else just...
So, for example, Reese doesn't own an Xbox, so if it wasn't his job, he could skip the Xbox show. But we are still covering the Xbox show on we'll have a podcast up on Monday for that. But
I mean, the Xbox show normally shows a lot of third-party stuff, so I think it's worth watching either way.
Yeah. No, the Xbox will have stuff like last year. Reese got Hades for PS5.
Yep, so I was really excited.
So he had something there. The point I'm making, though, is he wouldn't have to watch that at E3. He could just say, I'm going to skip that. I'm going to watch Sony and Nintendo show. With this year, though, but this show, if there was an Xbox title, I was like, yeah, you have to watch that. And that being said, the console manufacturers didn't really show up at this thing much. Like, Xbox didn't show up at all. Nintendo had one thing new, and Sony had one thing new as well.
I think that's because Xbox is having its own showcase. I'm certain that Nintendo's going to have its own Direct, and the one thing that Sony showed off, they probably didn't have time to show off in their State of Play last week.
And hopefully they got another State of Play coming in a couple of weeks, but
hopefully.
we're going to be discussing that when we get to the final section of this. So let's go. Show kicked off with Capcom with Street Fighter 6 again, showing off that Guile was coming to the game. We already knew. You leaked the roster online.
Yep.
Also, let's be honest. It's pretty much inevitable that Guile will be in the game. He's a mainstay. Not having Guile in Street Fighter would be like not having Siegfried in Soul Calibur or Scorpion in Mortal Kombat. It's kind of an inevitability.
You know
really.
what? Well, 2 points to that one. He wasn't in Street Fighter 3, but then again, that one only had 3 returning characters from Street Fighter 2, Ryu, Ken, and Chun-Li. But he actually wasn't in Street Fighter 5 at launch either.
Really?
Yeah, no, Street Fighter 5, he was not in there at launch.
It shows how much I keep up with Street Fighter stuff then.
No, Street Fighter 5 was so lacking at the beginning when it first came out. I
remember hearing stories about how not very good Street Fighter 5 was at the beginning.
Especially because most of the pictures were missing.
Yeah, how it was like wasn't there like 8 characters when Street Fighter 5 first came out?
Yep, and there's also no arcade mode either with story endings.
Yeah, no arcade mode at all. And I feel like with this trailer, the one thing I liked about this trailer was it said not only is the leak real, but there's going to be much more substantial content when we launch 6.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like 6 is fixing the mistakes that 5 had.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of Guile's redesign?
I think it looks good because it does look similar to his old costumes, which were mostly blue.
Yeah, it doesn't look that different to what I know him from, which is Street Fighter 2. I mean, it's like the only Street Fighter game I really know the characters from. I
do hope we eventually can put him in his Street Fighter 2 costume, though. I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah.
I imagine that's coming.
I think that's an inevitability of how popular it is.
Yes, yeah, and Capcom's going to milk Street Fighter 2 nostalgia till we're in the grave.
Yeah. I'm already convinced we're going to be getting like a Street Fighter 2 costume pack as DLC or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, next game. By the way, there's going to be a few times in this won't be one of them. There's going to be a few times in this review where we're just going to say either it looks fine or we're not interested and move on. Like, there's a bunch of games in here where I'm like, I am not going to spout off for like 5 minutes on a game that I don't give 2 shits about.
Yeah, definitely.
So the first one.
Unless the game looks terrible, in which case we will rant.
Oh yes, completely.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the next one. Reese got this one very quickly. He spotted the franchise way faster than I expected. Aliens: Dark Descent.
Honestly, when I first saw it, my first thought was, "This is Aliens, isn't it?"
Yeah. Okay. The big giveaway is the armor and the plasma rifles that you can see in the opening seconds.
See, I didn't realize it until I saw the face hugger egg.
Yeah.
I was kind of thinking, I'm not sure if Reese is right on this one. This doesn't look exactly like Alien, but then it was like, oh yeah, that's Alien. So it was a decent CGI trailer, and then they showed a bit of about 5 seconds of gameplay. What the fuck is this?
Do you want to know something? I was interested in the game until we saw the gameplay.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Reese, I mean, you're a big Alien fan, Reese. Were you asking for a top-down Diablo clone with the Alien franchise?
God, no. It looked like a cross between Diablo and XCOM, just from that over-the-head perspective and shooting mechanics.
I'll be honest, I was kind of, when I saw the Alien trailer, I was slightly had my fingers crossed that it will be a sequel to Alien Isolation.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Which, fun fact, is 8 years old now.
Yep, and it's still one of the best Alien games ever made, and they've done nothing with it.
Have you guys played the Switch version of Alien Isolation?
I haven't even played
not.
I haven't even played the original version, I'll be honest.
The Switch version, I was genuinely surprised by this. It's a really good port. Like, I was expecting it to be like, oh, the graphics won't work so well in this area. It's like, no, this is quite close to the PlayStation 4.
It's kind of understandable, though, seeing as I think, if I remember it correctly, Alien Isolation only came out like a year after the PS4 came out.
So
it was still kind of an early game, so I can kind of see that working.
But does it lose that horror aspect, though, playing on a smaller screen compared to like a large TV with a console?
Little bit. And it also loses a bit by the fact that you can talk however much you want. You don't have the whole PlayStation microphone. You've got to keep your voice down so the alien doesn't hear you.
I can still imagine the game being very scary. I don't think the smaller screen would ruin it.
Oh, seriously. Alien Isolation is still terrifying. I stand by that one. But
I mean, just from the look of it, it looks like one of the fucking scariest horror games ever made.
Yeah, especially if you're playing on the PlayStation 4, which I still think is the PlayStation 4 version. I still think is the definitive one, just by the fact of any outside noise in the real world gets you caught.
Yeah.
I would probably, again, coming from someone who hasn't played it, just from thought, I would probably say the PC version, just because you have all the mouse controls and whatnot.
That also would help. I'll tell you one. There is a funny story for this one because allow me to go a little off tangent on this one. When Ren was still living with me, he wanted me to order some food in, and I said, "Okay, I'll get it in a minute. Sort of trying to not make too much noise. And so Ren was like, "He's over here!" and then kept doing a SpongeBob laugh until the alien caught me.
I still have...
What an ass.
I still remember a funny skit from PlayStation Access, like a couple of years ago, when Rob was talking about Alien Isolation's whole microphone thing, and he was like in the dark, really quiet, and then you just heard like his mother going, "Robert, how many times I did tell you not to put your laundry?" Like something like that, and he just died. Incidentally, seriously, that game is terrible if you live with your parents.
Incidentally, was his mum Toad from the Super Mario cartoon?
You don't watch PlayStation Access, do you?
No, I don't really.
No, same. I don't.
I recommend it. It's a good channel. They're a good channel.
You can tell how much we cared about this presentation, considering how much we've already gone off tangent.
Well, that's the big problem with a CGI trailer. You can't get hyped for it because it's not a representation of the final game.
Yeah, that's the biggest problem with it. And what's worse, when we actually, as Elliot pointed out, when we actually saw the gameplay, it looked crap.
It just looked boring.
It looks like a mobile game.
Like, I would understand it if it was something like Alien Colonial Marines, but I will say I'm still convinced that game would have been good if it weren't for all the glitches. At the very least, you could make another game in that style and still make it good.
I'm still. I can hear it. It's Reese internally screaming.
Oh no, that game was so bad.
Okay, so
I know what it came down to was one broken line of code in Colonial Marines.
Oh, here's a question though: if they decided, okay, we're going to try and make another Colonial Marines, it's not going to be as broken. We're going to probably try focusing a bit more on the horror, a little bit more, but still having quite actiony. Would you still give it another chance?
Maybe.
I'd probably give it a go.
I think the thing about it for me though is the game I really wanted, which I was really disappointed it wasn't. I want a new Alien versus Predator game.
That would be really cool, actually. Yeah, I would like a new Alien vs Predator.
Like, I bought the original one on PlayStation 3. It's so good.
From what I've heard, a lot of people still praise the living hell of the game that came out in the 90s, I think.
Oh yeah. One of the few good points of the Atari Jaguar.
Saying that, mostly saying that Plants vs Marines is the best part of the game,
which is the opposite of the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 game, where it's the worst part.
Yep.
So, next game Elliot's reviewing, but me and Reese are really looking forward to when it comes out. The Callisto Protocol got a new trailer, still due out on December the 2nd.
I mean, it wasn't already released. We did only see the first trailer, last trailer, a week ago. It's not like it's not gonna be massively changed. It turns out it's coming out in 2023 now.
Yeah, but I want people to actually buy this, so I'm going to keep repeating the release date until it comes out.
Yeah, my God, this game looks so good.
Yeah, especially because what we saw in this trailer extra was all the environmental interactions. That was all the turbines and that.
Oh, Jesus Christ! This shows this game is fucking gory.
Oh my God! I thought Dead Space was gory.
That death scene we saw at the end of that trailer, of that gameplay segment, that's the most brutal character death I have ever seen.
Cal was crying on Twitter in the group chat over it.
Yeah, there's only so much gore I can take in a day. Oh dear.
Yeah, I'm someone who doesn't have much of a problem with video game gore. I'm not a big fan of real life gore fest horror films. I'm not a big fan of the Saw franchise for that. But when I saw that, I just had my mouth open, just holy shit, that is brutal.
Yeah, I'm a bit touch and go on it. Oh my God, I'm so looking forward to the Callisto Protocol.
Same, it looks great.
I'll be interested. What is that Dead Space remake gonna look and feel like when it comes out a month after the Callisto Protocol. How is that going to go down, do you guys reckon?
I don't think it'll be as positively received because there's no massive advancements since it's just a remake.
Well, we're saying that. We haven't seen anything of the gameplay of it yet.
I can see it going either way with this one. I can see it be done really well because Dead Space is one of the best EA games ever made, but at the same time, it's EA.
Can I put in a small prediction now on the record? I reckon Dead Space Remake gets delayed until about April, May. I reckon
to make it not as compared not as much to the Callisto Protocol.
A combination of that, and I think the fact we haven't seen any gameplay so far means it's a bit further behind than they're letting on.
Maybe, who knows? Maybe EA is planning on doing their own showcase and revealing it in that.
They might do an EA play next month.
And also, don't forget that EA is looking to get purchased, so maybe they are in a bit of trouble.
I think they are setting themselves up for it. Next was the most infuriating section of this entire showcase, and even with the last announcement, they showed a way too extended look at Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2.
Yep. Ooh, where are my sparklers?
Do you know there's a clip of Bennett the Sage online where he just yells, "End, you piece of shit!"
No, the entire time I was watching that, I just had God from Monty Python just say, "Get on with it."
Well, there you go. I brought up the stream. The Modern Warfare 2 segment is 12 minutes long.
Yeah, I was thinking like, I thought it was longer. I thought it was like 15 or 20.
I thought it was longer. I was like, I am pining for the Tom Clancy Alien game demo all over again.
Yeah.
That's how bad this was. I'm pining to watch that.
Yeah, especially considering the fact that wasn't as long.
Jesus.
Let's be honest. I remember the trailer of them saying the groundbreaking Modern Warfare. I just thought no one was talking about that Modern Warfare game. Unless you mean the first one, I don't know what you're on about.
There's only two things about this that surprised me. One, Jeff showed it all together because I know Call of Duty has a deal with Sony at the minute to be the advertise Call of Duty. In fact, the deal's going to continue after Microsoft acquisition of Activision.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That deal's really long. So they got Sony were going to have the advertising rights to Call of Duty even after Microsoft purchases them. I think Microsoft and Sony might need to do a new negotiation over the contract.
The curse that shall never break. The curse to announce every Call of Duty game for the next 1,000 years.
Well, it comes out. The other thing is how little the franchise has changed. I just looked at it and thought, this is the exact same game from like 10 years ago.
I will at least give it this. Graphically, the game looks good.
Yeah, graphically, it looks quite good, actually.
Graphically, the game looks awesome. Gameplay-wise, I just think this is the same Call of Duty you've been releasing for the past 15 years.
And before anyone goes on with us about being Nintendrones and say, "Oh well, Mario's no different every time those games come out," you can still look at a different Mario game and say, "Oh yeah, that one's that one. Like that's Sunshine. That's clearly Galaxy. That's clearly Odyssey." I couldn't
even with the 2D games, you could say, "Oh yeah, those games are different. That Super Mario World. That's the new Mario Bros. Game. That's the Wii U one."
With Call of Duty, you could show me 2 screenshots of any of the ones that came out after Modern Warfare 3, and I wouldn't be able to tell you which one's which.
No.
So the next, it comes out in October. None of us are going to review it.
No.
I'm not.
I might do if there's nothing else on. I can't promise I'll review it well. The only thing I'll probably praise it for is the zombie mode, because that's normally kind of fun.
I'll tell you right now, Elliot, I think it's coming out around the same time as Bayonetta 3, so don't bother.
Yeah, probably. I'm reviewing Forspoken around that time anyway, never mind.
Yeah, so Modern Warfare 2's out. Next, It's a game coming out in winter 2022, which means they want to bring it out at the end of this year. It's actually going to come out in early next year, because it'll inevitably get delayed because they couldn't put a release date for something that's only a few months off. Flashback 2. Someone help me out here.
It's a very old game from like 30 years ago on like the Mega Drive.
All I've seen is that it's on the Amiga.
Good to know. I have no idea about any of this.
I do not know. Me neither. There's acting like it's a big deal, and I'm just like, what the hell even is this?
And
Flashback 1 was a very old game 30 years ago that pioneered motion capture animations being put into the gameplay.
Huh.
So it was praised for the time for how fluid and realistic the main character walks, ran, jumped, and climbed.
And yet they've waited till 2022 to make a new one.
Yeah, over 30 years later.
Yeah, I understand there's a nostalgia boom currently that's been going for like the last 10 years, but
yeah, no one was asking for this, especially for now. It's like a 2.5D sequel because it goes from like side scrollers and you move around corners and go behind the character. So it's not even true to the original spirit of the game,
and
where it was all 2D.
And what has been the technological innovation that's made you want to go, yeah, we need a new Flashback game?
Yeah.
That was a weird one for everyone to act. Then there was that game from the Game Awards, Witchfire got an early access coming soon apparently.
I kind of like the look of it. I'll be honest. It looks alright.
Yeah, I've heard some people on Twitter be very excited about it. I'm not really that enthused by it.
No, it looks like it would have a fun VR mode.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, I might pick it up when it comes. I'll probably pick it up when it comes out, see what it's like.
Next, there was a trailer for something called Fort Solis.
Fort Solis.
Which just looked like Among Us as a AAA game.
And it's around this point where I was thinking, okay, you were just showing off a lot of space horror games at the minute.
Yeah, which is why I said in chat.
Next up, I think this was the game that the Doom composer is doing the music for, Routine.
Yeah, Mick Gordon.
And they showed none of his music in it.
Nope, which is what I complained about. Because he's one of the best musicians in the industry for his heavy metal. And we didn't get a single beep out of it.
I'm going to have something to say about that later. Trust me on that one.
Yeah.
Next thing was the Rock gave a trailer for Black Adam. This isn't
Well, first after heavily shilling his own energy drink he's founded.
Look, I love the Rock to bits, but this was just not necessary to be there.
I remember seeing on Twitter someone saying people saw this in IMAX. That means they saw The Rock, giant on screen, sweaty, telling you to drink his energy drink.
Yep.
I mean, would you drink it, Elliot?
Probably not.
It doesn't matter if you drink it. I couldn't resist.
And the best part of it is that he did the infamous eyebrow segment as well.
The people's eyebrow.
Let's be honest, It felt a bit forced.
It did.
Oh yeah, massively.
It just felt a bit forced. It wasn't like he went like, "Are you really gonna diss my energy drink? Really?" or something like that. And no, it's just like, yeah, it was just forced.
I didn't care much for it. Next game was it wasn't even a game. So then they went into a couple of like small adverts. We had Outriders getting an update called World Slayer.
Yeah, my main thought when I saw that was, people are still playing that.
Yeah.
Game Pass it was quite a big hit on Game Pass, surprisingly.
I thought that game died. I thought that game died after like a month.
It died in sales. It had a decent player base on Xbox.
Oh.
Again, because it was on Game Pass, and it led to an inverted commas Game Pass controversy, because people were saying because the team were kind of complaining about the fact they didn't know it was going to go to Game Pass. They didn't know it was going to impact the sales in the way they did, and people ignored the fact. And people said, "Oh, this is a Game Pass issue," and they didn't realize at the time. No, it's not. It's a Square Enix issue. It's up to Square Enix to communicate to people who can fly, which is the studio that made Outriders. that this was what was to be expected, and I do feel there's a lot of this in game complaints these days. It's a lot of they can't see the wood for the trees.
Yeah.
Can I get another example? Is when Nintendo kind of put through the coals for their union busting stuff, and it's like, and my attitude was, yes, take Nintendo to the logs for this, because it's a really shitty thing for them to do.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, people did. The one thing I thought at the time was, why is no one asking, how is Nintendo of America allowed to get away with this? No one.
Because money and bribes.
Yeah, but the point is that America hasn't updated their laws to reflect this, and as a result, about less than 20% of American workers are unionized now. This isn't just a game industry thing. This is across every industry.
Yeah.
And so that's what I meant. There's a lot of can't see the wood for the trees I've noticed in game ones, and if people were like, "Oh, well, we shamed Nintendo," that's it. And it's like, no, you've barely scraped the surface here, guys.
Yeah, which is quite funny, because you could say the same thing about Axia, how we don't have a union.
No, I've been trying to get.
Workers.
Yeah, I've been trying to get one.
We're a good company.
Yeah, but and at the same time, I've actually been encouraging the staff to get a union sorted, because I don't want to have that level of power. I want them to have some power.
Yeah.
In case I make a bad decision, I figured that it's a good check and balance for me.
What do you mean in case, Cal? Every decision you make is bad.
Oh, God, we're reviewing this shit, aren't we?
Yep.
Next thing was a live-action trailer for Fall Guys. Now, that's going to go free-to-play on June 21st.
Actually, Cal, there was something before it. It was that mini Switch thing about Splatoon.
Oh,
yeah, here are the upcoming games for Switch.
Which we already knew about.
In fact, they did say upcoming games. It's not like they're immediately gonna announce. And behold, a second DLC from Monster Hunter Rise. No, they won't do that.
So they did show Fall Guys. It is going free to play along with the Xbox and Switch versions coming out. It's also leaving Steam to be completely on the Epic Games Store.
Oh.
But if you download
what happens to players on Steam then? So they just lose access, or?
No, they can keep it, but no one new can buy it after the 21st.
Oh, okay.
So basically a PT situation.
Very similar.
Except you can still actually buy it.
You can still access it. They're not taking it away from you, but you will need an Epic Games Store account to play Fall Guys after this. So I've linked it to my PlayStation profile, for example. Yeah. And they're really launching Fall Guys in a big way again, because we're gonna have a new season. There's a Sonic event coming in August. They're having the guest extravaganza at the minute. So like all the other past few days, they've had the Untitled Goose Game costumes on there. One of the things I'm really excited for, but I think this might turn into a bit of a Mario Maker situation, is the level creator they're adding. I mean, are you guys kind of tempted to get back to Fall Guys now that it'll be on almost everything you own?
I'll be honest, I never really had any interest in Fall Guys. I just saw the game and just thought, that doesn't look like it's anything for me, honestly.
Yeah, I think even watching...
I do already have it for the PS4, because it was one of those PS Plus for the month titles a while ago. So I do have it, I just don't play it.
You need to download it again, Reese. That version doesn't work anymore.
Yeah.
Again, it's like they said the PlayStation 4 players will get it a month early. Everyone else waits till the 21st, including the PlayStation 5 version. Which, why is there a PlayStation 5 version for this one? I don't see what the PlayStation 5 graphics are going to add to it.
Can you not get a free update with
You can.
Oh wait, the game's coming out for free. Never mind.
Yeah, next game was a new RTS game from Frost Giant Studios, Stormgate.
Yeah, apparently a sequel to their older titles, which I've not played any of this franchise, so I don't know anything about it.
Elliot, help!
I mean, it's being brought on from a bunch of ex-Blizzard veterans, meaning that we'll likely get a number of people people who worked on StarCraft to work on it.
I mean, it looks all right, but I was never really asking for a spiritual successor to StarCraft.
Yeah.
I don't know. It might be. I don't know. Some people who like RTSs might be into it.
Yeah, it's also that whole problem again with it's mostly a CGI trailer with like 5 seconds of gameplay at the end, so you can't get hyped for it.
They didn't even have, not even 5 seconds of gameplay. They had like, they just had screenshots.
That's what annoyed me. I'm watching a visual showcase. Don't show me screenshots. Believe me, that's going to come up later. Next was an indie game that I actually like the look of this one. It's called High Water. It's coming out later this year.
It looks. Yeah. It does look kind of interesting.
Sorry about that. I think a couple of our internets broke up there. It does look quite interesting. But,
yeah, it looks like the early stages of Kevin Costner's Waterworld.
Yeah, I mean, I want to see a bit more of this one, but it does look like an interesting like puzzle stealth game.
It kind of looks a bit like a combination between a survival game and Animal Crossing. Like you sort of go around the world and pick up people to like join your little colony or something.
Did anyone else sort of look at this and think this could be a post-apocalyptic version of Untitled Goose Game?
Yeah, it looks like it's made in the same engine.
It does look like it's follow a similar art style.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, but it's also quite funny though. For that combat section, they cut to the three enemies are all the same model.
The next game was a game called, which looks interesting, but I need to see more of it. American Arcadia.
Do you want to know something funny? I was watching Summer Games Fest with my dad. The first thing he said when the game showed up is,
"My internet's broke."
Yep.
That person doesn't have a nose.
You're gonna have to repeat that, Elliot. Your internet broke up there.
Yeah. I was watching it with my dad, and the first thing he said when the trailer showed up is just, "That person doesn't have a nose. That person doesn't have a nose. No one in this world has a nose."
That is weird. Yeah, it does look a bit weird. I want to see, but this also looks like the sort of game I'm going to see once, say, looks interesting, and then never see it again and be amazed when it actually comes out.
The beginning concept, like when Jeff Keighley was talking about it, I thought, oh, that looks interesting. Well, I thought it was like going to be a game where you like have to do a number of things to try and keep your ratings up, get your ratings up and down. If it gets too low, that's when it gets dangerous. No, apparently it's just a game that it's just a side scroller where you have to try and escape this place.
Okay.
Yeah, because when I was watching the trailer, it's pretty much just the Truman Show as a video game.
I mean, yeah, it's cool.
I'd probably attribute it more to that South Park episode where Earth is just televised for all the aliens on other planets.
Which is also a parody of the Truman Show.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Incidentally, on that concept, right-wing people, stop using the Truman Show as a fucking stand-in for your belief system. You look stupid every time you do.
Yeah.
People do that?
Yeah, they do. Yeah. I'm like, are we living in a Truman Show type situation? No, we're fucking not. Flat Earthers are really bad for that shit as well.
No, whenever I think of that, all I know is 14-year-olds saying we live in a society.
Oh yeah, no, the Flat Earthers are really bad for it. They keep bringing up the Truman Show like they think they're really fucking smart.
Oh, bloody Flat Earthers.
Yeah. There's a really great Mitch Benz song about Flat Earthers that's really funny.
How is a world slowly going backwards?
The internet was a mistake, that's why. The next game was a surprise for me and Reese because we didn't know there was a second one in this series. Goat Simulator 3. I'm
gonna say now, this was probably my favorite trailer in this entire thing. It was so funny. Just taking the Dead Alive 2 trailer, the Dead Island 2 trailer, which you still haven't seen any more of, and just replacing it with goats. I thought that was hilarious.
Oh yeah, Dead Island 2 surely that's cancelled now. If that's not.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's been way too long.
I'll look it up. I don't know if it. If it is or not.
Reese, have you played Goat Simulator?
I played the first one like when it came out, but that was so long ago now.
Because I've seen.
Oh yeah. It says they unexpectedly abandoned the project.
Yeah, I thought as much.
They just
Yeah.
jumped. I'd say they jumped out of a sinking ship, but they jumped out of a sinking ship just before the mast went down.
No, I will say it jumped out of a sinking ship. The problem is the ship was already all the way down at Davy Jones' locker.
Ha! Incidentally, I keep seeing Goat Simulator on Game Pass every time I'm looking at it. I kind of think, maybe I should give it a go, but that also looks really, really stupid, but awesomely stupid.
I mean, it was. I remember seeing trailers of gameplay of it either in high school or college. I can't remember, and I just remember thinking, "This is fucking hilarious."
So,
yeah, it's a really stupid game, but the thing they prized themselves on was the physics engine, and just seeing how much crap you could get to break.
Yeah, that's kind of the main point of the game. You're just it's meant to be a glitchy. It's meant to be a glitchy mess. It's meant to be broken, and it's glorious in what it does.
It's the thing that that game Maneater didn't quite get right. With Maneater, it's trying too hard to be humorous.
That's a game with a shark, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But I'm saying compared to like Goat Simulator, which it just sort of does it and it works. Maneater, it's like, we're gonna make like a Goat Simulator game with a shark, and it's like,
I only learned recently that shark was actually female.
Yeah. I actually played a bit of Maneater. I quite liked it, but I felt very morally conflicted on it.
Yeah, it does have quite a gruesome opening.
And it's more the fact that it kind of still gives this idea of sharks being mindless killing machines, where the reality is, even if you encounter one, you are so unlikely to die.
Well, someone's never played Jaws Unleashed.
In fact, on the subject of Jaws, the marine biologists that helped film that thing got the shark shots. I actually say they regretted it to this day.
Really?
Because they hate the fact that they kind of kicked off a very negative image of sharks.
Yeah, I mean, I still remember watching something that came out like in the 2000s. Harry Hill covered it, basically saying you are more like 4 people a year die by sharks, meanwhile 12 people a year die by toasters.
Yeah. Which led to him saying, well, I don't want to take my chance with a shark, but I also kind of like toasters. There's only one way to find out.
We need to bring back TV Burp. I miss that show so much.
The thing about TV Burp is, it's basically, the problem is there's a lot of internet shows now that kind of do what he did. He's basically was televised YouTube poop.
He was pretty much, I say he was pretty much the beginning of commentary channels.
Yeah, that kind of is. And yet, I'd say it was a complete coincidence because most of them came from America, and they probably never heard of Harry Hill.
Yeah.
We've gone well off topic.
I still have no idea how he got to be a doctor.
Yeah, he's very clever, apparently.
Yeah.
Now, the next game, Cuphead Delicious Last Call. Oh, no, I've got a bare head, actually.
This one.
It was
Marvel Midnight
Suns.
Being made by the Civ 6 devs.
Yep, Firaxis.
Yeah, it's Firaxis making it. I mean, I mentioned this to Ren because he wasn't aware of it, and it blew his mind that the Civ team was making a Marvel game.
All I'll say is thanks, Marvel. I was already getting burnout from your movies. Now I'm getting burnout from your games. We're getting too many of them. We have way too many Marvel games coming out.
I think I kind of agree. That being said, Miss Marvel has the best opening episode of any of the Marvel TV series so far.
Better than Loki?
Yeah, better than Loki's first episode.
Yeah.
Wow.
They've done a fantastic job with her origin, and I'm so looking forward to what they're going to do with the rest of the series. I mean, it could go downhill from here, but so far they're off to a fantastic start.
Yeah.
But that being said, this one basically introduced Spider-Man's going to be in the game with a sort of version of his Venom costume, because this is supposed to be like dark Marvel.
So here's a question. Do you think Spider-Man will go to Xbox and PC, or do you think it's going to stay as a Sony exclusive like it did in the Avengers game?
No, it will go to Xbox and PC, because the rule is you can put Spider-Man in a Marvel game, you just can't make a solo Spider-Man game off of PlayStation. That's the rule with the rights at the minute.
Well, if I remember, wasn't Spider-Man exclusive to PlayStation in the Avengers game?
Yeah, that's just because Sony paid a lot of money to Square Enix. They didn't have the rights to the game.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, because also, for example, with the new Marvel Ultimate Alliance free game on Switch, that did have Spider-Man in it.
Right, okay.
Yeah. But both Spider-Men in it.
Yeah.
Oh, I wish that game was better than it was.
Same.
I would say at the very least for this one, the villain in it interests me a little bit.
Yeah, it's just Lilith from the comics.
Incidentally,
I don't know who Lilith is, honestly.
Well, she's also from Jewish mythology.
Yeah, she's basically this. Oh God, no! I'm going to go into a Marvel continuity diatribe. I'm not about to do that right now.
Okay, I'll break it down easy for Elliot. So in the Bible, there's Adam and Eve, right?
Yeah, we're there.
So before that, in the original Jewish law, Adam had a first wife called Lilith. She turned evil as well, and then gave birth to demons. So she went to.
So that's basically what she is in the Marvel series.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically. It's weird. Marvel and DC have this thing that all religions are correct, and they all go to war with each other on regular occasions.
Yeah, it's so weird.
The Celtic and Buddhist gods. Yeah, they go bowling every Tuesday. It's perfect.
Yeah, seriously,
it actually isn't Marvel, because there's a thing called the Council of Skyfathers, which all the heads of the religions meet.
This is more interesting than the game trailer that we saw.
Yeah.
Marvel is wacky.
I find it weird. I find it weird though that Marvel's made this game. They're barely showing any gameplay of this, and it comes out October 7th.
Yeah, so gameplay has been shown, but it's been through YouTubers who had access to the game. Apparently, it's a card-based game.
Yeah, it is a card-based game. I knew that going into it. I'm really concerned about how this game's going to turn out.
Yeah. If it's a card game, then how many microtransactions do you think that's going to be?
I keep going with Elliot on this one. I think I'm struggling to enjoy the idea of a Marvel game coming out now, because we've had... it's been so mixed, because we've had a really good one with like Spider-Man and Guardians of the Galaxy, but then we've had Avengers and Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. And
do you want to know what I've noticed? When Marvel IPs have had their own singular game, it's turned out to be really good. When you try and combine them, it's gone really bad.
Yeah,
I agree.
With Spider-Man Guardians of the Galaxy, it was just then. Yeah, there were mentions of characters like Thanos, but I think he was already in the Guardians of the Galaxy lore. Meanwhile, with Ultimate Alliance 3 and with Avengers, it was just a combination of all of them, and it just didn't work out. So I don't know. Maybe they should try focusing more on solo character games.
Yeah. I think the main problem is they're trying to focus on such a big cast and ensemble. They can't focus on individual characters within those groups, give them development.
Yeah. Okay. Shall we talk about the next game on the list?
Yep. Which was Cuphead.
It was Cuphead Delicious Last Course. Got a new gameplay demonstration. Showed off one of the bosses. Not much to say about this one. They talked about the fact they're going to show a trailer for Cuphead Season 2 on Netflix Geek Weekend.
Yeah, it's Geek Week in a few weeks or something.
Yeah.
I mean, okay. Yeah, that's fine.
I mean, all I can say about it is it's Cuphead. It looks like fun.
And, it's coming out the same day as the Monster Hunter DLC, so I'm going to be busy on the 30th.
Yeah.
Next game. This is one that disappointed me that it was here. Not for the reason you'd expect. It's Neon White. This is a Switch and PC exclusive. Comes out June the 16th, which coincides with the Reddit leak that we saw.
Do you want to know the funny thing? I think we got one. We've only got one trailer so far for this from Nintendo, and that was in a direct last year. And then all of a sudden, we see it. This is the second time we ever seen it. It's just like, oh, it's coming out next week.
Well, the thing was, it was on Reddit. It was on Reddit this last week. It was this week actually. There was a developer posted on a content creator online said he had an NDA for a game that would come out on the 16th of June, and he was basically implying there was going to be a Nintendo Direct on Wednesday. essentially, on the 15th of June. So he basically said that's what's going to happen. And the thing is, the writing was blacked out, so we didn't know the game. But he did such a crap job of it that everyone could figure it out just by turning up the contrast. So we all knew Neon White was coming out on June the 16th. So
just cover it in black bars.
He did that, and it was rubbish. He did a rubbish. It was like it was done in paint. And,
oh my god!
And so the thing is, though, the fact this has shown up has put doubts on the fact that Nintendo Direct is going to be on Wednesday.
Yeah, so, do you want to know how much of a shock this was? I checked this morning. Neon Light coming out next week. Not even up for pre-order.
Yeah, it's not
really?
up for pre-order. Yeah, I tried to pre-order it.
Yeah,
I tried to pre-order it as well. It's not up for pre-order. Another game that's coming out the same day is, though, up for pre-order, which we'll get to in a minute because it was also in this presentation. But, I mean, Neon White looks quite good, but I'm wondering how it's going to play with the cards and all that business.
From what I can tell, I think the cards are mostly just power-ups or, like, just certain weapons. I feel like you do have a default attack from the looks of it.
Please don't be like Chain of Memories.
I don't think it's going to be like Chain of Memories. Chain of Memories focus solely on the cards. Meanwhile, it actually looks like the cards are just a component of the combat, but you can play the game without them.
Okay, shall we move on to the... I mean, it looks good. Are you guys going to pick this one up?
Yeah, I'm going to pick it up.
Yeah, possibly.
I was interested in the trailer when I saw the first trailer, so I might as well see what it's like.
Next game, Midnight Fight Express comes out August 23rd. I don't know. What is this?
Apparently, all I remember was that apparently it was done by a father in Poland who got a team together to make it.
Yeah, so it was originally a one-man project for bringing in others, and he's the writer of one of the Destiny expansions.
Oh.
Okay. I mean, I'll try to be interested, but struggling.
I mean, I'll be honest, I completely forgot this was a thing.
Same.
Next game, Warframe. What was this?
So it's just teasing a new expansion for the current game. So
I mean, if there's any expansion for a game I'll be mildly interested in, it's probably going to be Warframe. I play a bit of it. It's pretty fun. I just struggle to keep up with it.
Next game.
Same.
Next thing. 2 games from the studio behind Genshin Impact. They had Honkai Star Rail, which is a spin-off to what was the franchise?
Honkai Third Impact.
Honkai Third Impact, and Zenless Zone Zero, which they barely had anything to show of that.
Yep, except showing off some furry characters.
Honkai Star Rail, that's coming out relatively soon. I didn't really like the look of either of these games, to be honest.
It's basically just Genshin Impact with less gacha and more fighting mechanics, is what it looks like.
So it's kind of more of a story base, maybe?
I guess in a way.
They've said
I pretty much accepted the fact that out of all of us, I'm the main anime hack and slash guy, so I might check it out. I don't know. I did do Scarlet Nexus after all.
I mean, it looks pretty good. I mean, that being said, I was really into the idea of Scarlet Nexus, but this doesn't do much for me. Next game was one of the highlights of the show entirely.
Yeah.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Shredder's Revenge. They announced they're adding Casey Jones into the game, 6-player co-op online and offline, and it's coming out June the 16th next week.
Yeah, like, Jesus Christ.
Now, that date had leaked online through data mining, but I was a bit skeptical that it was going to release on June the 16th unless it dropped in a direct. But
I did not know that. The burden of not going on Twitter often.
Oh yeah, no, you're safe from that one. But I'll tell you right now, I really like the look of Shredder's Revenge. The more time I've had to look. The more time I've had to look at it, the more it's grown on me.
Yeah, I was so impressed with the fluidity, the animation for all the characters.
The thing is, I'm going to get...
Yeah, it looks... Something I was surprised by, actually, is obviously Nickelodeon currently has that Ninja Turtle show reboot. I don't know if it's still going or not, but I'm surprised it's not really following that art style. It seems to be following more the art style from the 80s.
Yeah, no, this is an indie studio wanting to make the 80s throwback to the 80s. And I think that's a wise decision. The thing is, though, I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, this does not look like a nostalgia cash-in. This looks like a lot of real thought and effort's gone into it.
Yeah, you can tell that these guys are actual proper fans of the Ninja Turtles.
Okay.
Yeah, it definitely looks like a spiritual successor to Turtles in Time.
I really hope this is really good. I'm gonna. It's coming to all platforms. It will be on Game Pass day one. So that's gonna be cool for Game Pass subscribers. I'm getting the Switch version so I can play it on the go.
I'll probably get Game Pass and Switch version, see what the difference is.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna get the Game Pass version for at home, and I'm gonna have the Switch version for when I'm on the go.
Yeah, it looks like a great on-the-go game.
No, definitely.
Next game was an update to Humankind.
Yeah, so now that Civ 6 has finished all its DLC, they're making a big push for Humankind as the next successor.
I don't really like the look of Humankind.
No.
I mean, I think, from what I can tell, I just look at it and just think this just looks like Civ 6.
Yeah. It is basically.
It is basically Civ 6. Okay, games coming out later this year. One Piece Odyssey, which proves that Jeff Keighley has no idea how to pronounce Monkey D. Luffy.
Yep.
As opposed to when he said Monkey D. Luffy. Next, but I will say it looks okay from what I've seen.
It looks alright. I'm not up to date with One Piece, so I don't think I'm going to be playing it on day one. I'm going to have to catch up on the manga at the minute.
From what I gather, this is a offshoot, non-canon story.
I mean, they're still going to have characters I haven't met yet, so I'm still going to have to catch up with the manga.
It's
cool.
Yeah,
I noticed there's that massive spoiler at the end of the trailer that spoils the entire game.
Oh, yeah, it's basically, Oh, I wonder what the island is all about. I wonder why.
So anyone else find it weird that the voiceover was English, that the characters are speaking in Japanese?
Yeah, that was weird. Yeah. I mean, are they...
Why not get the English voice cast? I mean, they're good.
I mean, they're still under contract with Crunchyroll at the minute, I think. And again, it's Crunchyroll now doing it since the Funimation merger. In fact, Funimation's YouTube channel has now changed its name to Crunchyroll Dubs.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
yeah. Wow, I didn't notice.
Yeah, no, they've changed the channel. It's a blue Crunchyroll logo as opposed to the orange one. So, I mean, I'm interested in One Piece Odyssey, but we'll wait and see. Next one was Atlas showed up with another trailer for Soul Hackers 2. That's coming out the 26th of August. How do you guys feel about Soul Hackers 2? I mean, Elliot, you're a big Atlas fan.
I mean, it looks alright. I haven't really played the original Soul Hackers, but, you know, I'll probably still pick this one up.
I'm probably going to pick it up as well. What about you, Reese?
Yeah, I've not played the original, so I'm hoping it's not too connected, because otherwise I would like to pick it up. Visually, it's very striking.
If it's like any of the other Atlas games, it's likely going to be a standalone, just having similar game mechanics to the previous ones.
Plus, if there's any Atlas game that Reese needs to pick up, it's 13 Sentinels.
Yeah, which I will pick up eventually.
Reese, I will buy that for you at some point because you need to play it. Like, this was me. Someone at Atlas looked at Reese and said, "We're going to make a game for that guy." And I don't think I had a picture of me saying it's going to be so good, even he'll like it.
I mean, in all fairness, I think he just advising us due to our tastes. Like, if anything with mechs come out, it's Reese. If anything with vampires come out, it's me. Anything with cute catgirls come out, it's Calvin.
No, Ali, blonde catgirls for Calvin.
I hate you both. I hate you both.
I can't wait to see Cal's best kill of the season.
Well, who's the joke?
I have a feeling you'll both have the same one, honestly.
Next game! Capcom Arcade Stadium 2. Looks awesome. I mean, it looks alright. It doesn't look like the selection is as good as the first one, though, I'll say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially because if it's just been random games thrown in now.
I mean, I've never really been that bothered about the Capcom arcade games. So, nah.
Yeah, I do feel like arcade games are getting a bit of a nostalgia revival, but I also think... Can we just admit they weren't as good as everyone thought they were?
No, definitely, yeah. Yeah, because a lot of those games have not aged gracefully, shall we say.
That's the thing. Whereas it feels like TMNT, for example, that feels like it's really concentrated on how do we take this core concept and update it.
Yeah.
Next game, love this one.
This is my most hype one of the show.
Metal Hellslinger gets a release date of September 15th, and they released a demo immediately after the show, which
you've gone too far again. Before that, it was a Mario Strikers advert.
Yeah, it's out today. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's out today. Haven't played it yet. Going to.
Me and Reese are reviewing it in a couple of weeks.
Hey.
I've already got started on it. That being said, I think it's not going to take long before we can start reviewing it. There's not too much content in it.
Yeah.
Would you at the very least say it's more of a package than Mario Golf is?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, pretty much any new Mario sports game is.
And would you say, and there are a lot of people go online saying that, this game's unfinished, it doesn't have Daisy in. Would you disagree with that or not?
Yeah, I think enough characters to launch with, and it feels like something nice to build on. The one thing as well is, unlike Mario Golf, there's way more identifiable Mario stuff here. It feels like they've actually looked at the Mario aesthetic and tried to make something out of it.
Yeah.
I'm starting the
With Mario Golf, I have a feeling it's actually going to be good.
I'm starting the Anime Amigos club when the season starts, so we can all join in.
Nice.
You have to buy a copy for Ren, you know.
Yes, I am. I'm getting on the case.
Yeah, and then one for Claire.
Oh yeah, get Claire in on this. Next game, but let's talk about Metal Hellslinger, because that game looks awesome, and I played the demo now.
Any good?
Yeah, it's basically what you think it is. It's Doom meets Crypt of the Necrodancer. Yeah. The game gives you that. It actually uses pretty much the same timer mechanic, rather like it. But the great thing about it is you're swapping weapons depending on which one suits the beat well. So like it gives you a shotgun quite early on, but later on in the song it doesn't really suit the beat. So because it's going and you're going bang bang like that, and it doesn't quite work. So then they give you the twin pistols, but that could then you can try better bang 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 like that. So you're trying to aim like that.
I'll be honest, I wasn't paying attention to the gameplay. I was too busy headbanging to the music. This music is fucking insane.
You know all those vocalists they got though? They're a reward for doing well. The vocals don't kick. The song sort of slowly builds to higher your combo, and you don't get the vocals until you're at max combo.
So you have to work to see these, to hear these ripped, these really talented singers.
Yes, you get them. They're a reward for doing well on the level. And admittedly, one of the things I found interesting was I wasn't doing too well on the first few playthroughs. When I learnt the thing and did quite well and went back, I managed to do it like the playthrough I did last night. I only got to the final boss a couple of times, and I never beat it. This time I managed to get to the final boss, and only lost one life at the final boss. And I still did quite well on the playthrough. So the more you play it, the more you learn the rhythm of the songs, the more you can go back and learn which weapon does quite well for this section of the song. The better you're going to do. And they borrow so much from Doom. It's like you've like the whole R3 to zoom in and do a melee strike, and you get health pickups for doing the melee strike. So it's very clear Doom was a big influence on this one.
I mean, that's the king of metal in video game.
Yeah. So how long was the demo?
It's only one stage, unfortunately, but it's a substantial one. It's like a 30 to 45 minute stage.
Oh damn!
So they're giving you quite a bit.
Not bad then.
Honestly, I should say 30 to 45 minutes for me. I think your time might vary.
Yeah, so 10 to 15 minutes for a normal player.
I wouldn't go that far. I think maybe 20 to 35 minutes if you're really good at it and when you get the hang of it. But again, I think it's because the more you learn, the more you want to go back and do that stage again. Learn that thing. But you can really tell how well crafted of a game it is. Honestly, this might be a Game of the Year contender for me.
Wow.
Also, it's definitely. I can already tell it's going to be a soundtrack contender for me.
But the thing is, I went into it and I thought, okay, something's going to go wrong, like the beats are not going to match or something like that, or it's going to be. But for one, it gives you a calibration at the start. You sort of calibrated to hit the trigger every time you hear the notes and hit the trigger every time the thing flashes, to make sure your TV's calibrated, and it's so perfectly in time. I'm gushing about this game already.
Oh wow!
I'm really liking it. I'm not sure which version I'm going to get. I might get. Also, I will say my ability improved when I played the game with headphones. So this is a game you want to play with headphones on.
Right.
So
knowing me, I'll probably play it with the on the PC because if it's anything like Doom, I'm gonna struggle like hell on the console. Like legit, I can only play Doom with keyboard controls.
Yeah. I would say the same, except I think I'm going to struggle to hit the triggers in time with the song if I'm using a mouse. Like dun 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 dun, and it's very, very focused on the rhythm. So I think I might need a version with a controller, but I might still get the PC version because I got a Xbox One controller for it.
Yeah, you can always just use a controller on the PC if you need to.
And the PC has kind of become my third-party machine right now.
Mm-hmm. And also don't forget the PS5 controls have been updated now to work on PC via Bluetooth.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Oh, dope.
Next game is game that's also out today, The Quarry, which is longer than I anticipated. Hence why I'm actually going to play it before I stream it. I am sorry I'm not able to get a stream out for that one now, but I need to know what I'm getting into before I stream it properly.
Funnily enough, I pre-ordered that game yesterday, so I don't think it's arrived yet.
Yeah, no, I pre-ordered the digital version because I wouldn't mind taking this back and forth to my office.
I need to build up my physical PS5 collection, so yes. I'm just.
Well, I'm going to be building it up later this year because I've got the reviewing job of the last game on this one, so I'm buying that one. Next, but The Quarry looks really good. I'll be interested when I finally get around to playing it.
What's interesting about it is it seems like with Until Dawn, there was definitely more supernatural horror. This one seems more down the lines of Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah, but I also the trailer also implied there is an extra supernatural element to it because, like, if you look at Until Dawn, it starts out as like Friday the 13th or Saw, and then it turns into the more supernatural horror down the line.
Yeah,
but this one, I think this one might be doing a similar thing, but I could also see them just say, yeah, we're going to just do Texas Chainsaw Massacre. But I would say this looks way more like they've got some interesting ideas for it than with something like the Dark Pictures Anthology, which is still going on this year. I think this year's the last one in the Dark Pictures Anthology before they move on to something else.
I thought they were doing like 8 games in it, though.
I think they're abandoning ship before it sinks.
Right, so they're only going to do the 4 then.
I think so, yeah. Unfortunately, but if The Quarry does well, they might just say, right, let's just do a load of one-off bigger games rather than a small one every year.
I will at least say this with Houses of Ash. It has given me a line that I do use quite often in my real daily life. If it looks like shit and smells like shit, you don't have to taste it to know it's shit.
I like that. I like that one actually. Yeah.
Why is it around the end that games all of a sudden has good writing?
Why? Yeah, seriously. The end of that game, the characters all get really good development, and I actually quite like them. At the beginning of it, I hate all of them. You watched my playthrough. I was purposely killing 2 of them.
I can't remember his name, but I'm pretty sure you like one of them.
Oh, I think his name was Saidiri, the guy who was in one of the Iraqi soldiers.
Simon or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I liked his character because he felt like the most sympathetic.
Yeah, he actually felt like a character that you could kind of get along with.
Whereas everyone hates all the American soldiers.
And the weird thing is, I kind of liked when they actually got forced to work together. I kind of liked the rapport between the guy who started out being very racist, and then as he went on, he kind of realized, oh shit, I've been a complete dick.
Yeah, it does feel like though whoever decided to make the characters for that game had just spent an entire weekend binging Michael Bay movies.
Yeah, there was an element of that, and it was like it's like, yeah, the ending was great, but the beginning of it was so bad.
And also, I can't believe I got the ending right after joking what it could be.
Oh yeah, I can't believe you wrote that down as a joke, and I was like, okay, well, it won't be. Oh my god, he wrote it as a joke, and that's the actual ending.
It's showing how bad that game was when the only entertainment we had was me sharing horror movie facts every 10 minutes.
Yeah, and that was more interesting. I do like the fact, though,
doing for this year as well. Hey,
I do like the fact, though, that at the ending of that one did kind of pull things back, because we did kind of stop the horror movie facts at that point, just sort of started watching the thing. So it was kind of interesting at the end. So let's move on to Nightingale. What is this?
It's just like a futuristic version of Ark. Dinosaurs. Yeah,
it just looks like a crafting and survival game mixed with those portals you find in World of Warcraft.
Okay, moving on. Saints Row.
Oh, this looks so bad, Saints Row now.
Yeah,
I love all the other Saints Row games. Like, I think they are absolutely great. I'm one of the few people who thinks that Saints Row is better than GTA. Mm-hmm. Holy shit, this game looks bad. Like, it looks like it's trying too hard to be cool and quirky. When the previous game, they made you like the characters by you playing as a very likable asshole.
See, the difference between you and me, Elliot, is when one of your franchises looks like it's going quite downhill, you can actually admit it's going downhill. Meanwhile, I'm in the crowd that thinks, no, Sonic Frontiers is fine, it's going to be fine. I stand by it. I actually stand, all joking aside.
At the same time, though, can anyone who is a fan of Saints Row look at this and say, oh yeah, it looks fine. It doesn't all look like it's trying to appeal to the TikTok generation. No, which I kind of shouldn't be insulting, because I'm kind of because I'm Gen Z, I'm a part of that generation. I hate my generation.
Yeah, the difference is that Elliot was away a few years. You'll be vilified in the Daily Mail soon. It's my generation's turn now, but it'll be yours soon. The next.
Well, no, because between our generation,
I'm old jokes. No, I'm old.
Gen Z, millennial, boomer.
I am not a boomer, for fuck's sake. I'm turning 32 in 2 months, for fuck's sake.
I find it kind of funny if that Reese is one of the youngest millennials and I'm one of the oldest Zoomers.
I mean, they're merely. Saints Row comes out on August 12th. There was a character creation demo that was released, which is weird choice in my opinion, because it was like, wait, you're just showing off the character creation. Why not show off a bit more?
Yeah, it just looks so bad. I'm definitely skipping it.
Next game, Warhammer 40k Dark Side. Wish we had Dark
Tide.
Dark Tide.
I mean, it just looks like another normal co-op shooter game.
Yeah, I'm not really interested. Next game.
No, it just like a futuristic sequel to Vermintide. What that's set to 40k.
Yeah, Blooper Team showed up with Layers of Fears, which is coming out in early 2023.
Quick question: this isn't what people believe to be the rumored Silent Hill game they're working on, because if it is, oh my god, I feel so bad.
No, this is not the Silent Hill game that they're working on. I'm not going to say think. I know they're working on a Silent Hill game. That's been confirmed. Konami's name is not anywhere in this, and Konami will put their name to a re-release. They're not going to be like Sega and just try and pretend that they're not anything to do with it. Like we saw that with the Castlevania Advance Collection. They put their name all over that shit, even though
hey, this is us. This is us when we were good.
But no, Blooper Team is working. Apparently, it's a Silent Hill 2 remake. We kind of went into this in a prediction thing, but no, this is a game called Layers of Fear, which is apparently a follow-on to another game. A follow-up to another game.
Layers of Fear.
Yeah.
But if you remember that game, it came out around, I believe, 2014, 2015, and it was basically another one of those horror corridor games.
But there's no subtitles to this thing, though. What?
Yeah, no, you don't understand. It's very different. It has an S on the end. The first one was called Layers of Fear. This one's Layers of Fears.
Oh, I hate it when they do sequels and just do a plurals on it. The only one that got it right was Aliens.
Yeah, because at least with Alien, it made sense. Alien had one alien. Aliens had a shit ton of aliens.
So, I hate when they do that. But, I mean, it looks all right, but I kind of wish we saw the Silent Hill
You know the funny thing? I'm pretty sure Layers of Fear already got a sequel with Layers of Fear 2. I'm pretty sure I think so.
Just call it Layers of Fear 3, then.
Give me a sec. I'll double check this.
Hold up.
Well, yeah, this trailer looked nice because it's all been done in Unreal Engine 5, which is the new engine everyone's going to be using in the future.
Yeah, Layers of Fear 2 does exist.
Oh, fuck. Just call it Layers of Fear 3, then. I will say right now, I think this is not going to come in early 2023. I think this will be delayed if they're working in Unreal Engine 5.
Yeah.
I don't know. Layers of Fear, if I remember, the original Layers of Fear was, as I said, was more just a haunted house kind of game.
What about...
basically, you just... haunted house walking simulator kind of thing, so I don't know.
I don't understand why they do... I don't imagine that Blooper Team is using Unreal Engine 5 for Silent Hill 2 remake. We're going to say that for now. Let's not say anything specific. Let's say the Silent Hill game they're working on. I'm pretty sure they're not using Unreal Engine 5 for that, unless they've done a massive swap at the last minute. So,
yeah.
So...
And if that is the case, that's going to be a disaster, because whenever a game switches engines, it's always ended in disaster.
I don't know.
Especially last minute.
I don't know. Hellblade 2 has swapped engines, and that looks pretty good, the new engine.
And I'm certain the Demon Souls remake did not have the same engine as the original Demon Souls.
Yeah, but that was a different team, Elliot. So
and it started in development in the new engine. It didn't switch partway through.
That's what
is that what happened with Silent Hill 2 or the remake?
That's what I'm suggesting. It might have happened. They might have said we started in Unreal Engine 4 and they now swap it to Unreal Engine 5. But that being said, I think it's too far gone for them to make the swap.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah. So, the final one before we go into the last section of the game was Gotham Knights, which is still coming October 25th.
And it still looks bad.
Oh God! Why?
Do you know the funny thing? My dad, as I said, I was watching this with my dad. He started watching Titans on Netflix, which he likes.
Poor man.
Mind you, he hasn't seen Teen Titans, so he doesn't have anything to compare it to. He quite likes it, and he was watching it saying, "Oh, it's like Titans is." I was just thinking, it's not. It's really not.
What is this, like the 6th time Bruce Wayne has apparently died?
Yes, he's dies.
I mean, there's only one of them that kind of stuck, and even then it was only for a bit. That was...
Well, yeah, even in comparison to like the Arkham Knight from Rocksteady, the last game, this looks so bad in comparison.
Like this, I was going to say the same thing about Sonic Frontiers. This game could be good, but if it is, they're showcasing it appallingly.
Yeah.
Is it bad for me to say I've got more faith in Sonic Frontiers than I do in Gotham Knights?
Probably not, because we've seen more extended gameplay from Gotham Knights, and it's so slow comparison to what we've had before.
Oh God, it looks so slow. You're right, and all the characters and stuff. I was looking at this thinking, this is only coming out on next-gen consoles. How does it look this underwhelming?
Yeah.
Like, you delayed this by a year just to make sure it only showed up on on the next-gen consoles. Why the fuck does it look like this?
Well, Cal, it's simple. We needed next-gen, so Nightwing can have a Fortnite glider that magically disappears.
Oh my God, I thought I saw that glider somewhere.
Yeah, it's essentially the glider from Fortnite. Everyone's pointed out online.
We've broken Elliot.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's so lazy animation-wise, because it appears from nowhere when the animation starts, and then it disappears into nowhere.
Just wait when it gets delayed by another few months, so that Red Hood could have a fucking pickaxe.
Okay, so let's go into the final segments of this game, of this show. So we started...
Oh my God.
The Last of Us segment of this series. So let's start with the multiplayer. They finally this was originally going to be called Last of Us Factions and was going to be part of Last of Us Part 2 at a later date. The idea
it was also supposed to be free.
Yeah, it's now going to be charged for it, and we've only seen concept art.
I'm gonna be honest. I hate the idea of this. The main reason being is the main reason why.
So does Alfie, apparently.
The reason why I kind of discovered this like not that long ago, really, when I was thinking about The Last of Us. Every time I try to go back to the first Last of Us game, I play it for a couple hours, get tired, and then don't go back to it. I kind of try to figure out why. I think it's this. I'm not really a fan of the gameplay of it. Yeah. Whenever I think how good The Last of Us is, it's always on the story. It's always on the presentation, the characters, all that stuff. When it comes to the gameplay, I don't really like it. It feels like it's trying to combine survival horror mechanics with Uncharted combat, and it just doesn't work for me.
I agree.
So, yeah, I just really don't like the idea of this.
What about? Okay, yeah, no, and the fact that this has taken so long and was supposed to be a free part of Last of Us Part 2, and now we're going to be charged extra for it. It's taken ages to come out. What the fuck is this?
Yeah, because also with this coming out, it devalues Last of Us Part 2 as a package.
Yeah, like, serious question. Who the fuck plays The Last of Us for the gameplay?
Yeah.
Like, The Last of Us is fine, but it's not the most innovative gameplay in the world. The other thing that they mentioned was they showed us a brief look at the HBO series and the fact that Neil Druckmann has directed an episode.
By that, they mean one screenshot.
I will say, though, the screenshot I saw, Pedro Pascal really looks the part.
Yeah, he's mostly shaven from The Mandalorian. Just a little like Joel.
I mean, I'll watch the HBO series when it comes out.
The one thing that maybe will make me see it is the fact that Ashley Johnson makes a cameo in it.
Yeah, Ashley Johnson and North Korea in it.
And as much as I don't like The Last of Us now, I do still think Ashley Johnson is an amazing voice actor. So, I might see it if she's in it.
Okay, let's pull the bandage off. This got leaked earlier in the day, but we can see it now. They announced The Last of Us Part 1 remake coming to PlayStation 5 and PC next year. With it's coming out September 2nd, and this is not what I expected when they said Last of Us Part 1 remake.
Oh my god! I mean, I can't believe it. It looks no different. Actually, no fucking different. I am shocked. I mean, I thought we'd get something new with this game. I thought maybe different cinematics, maybe go through a slightly different story. No, it looks the exact same. Yeah, Sony. What the fuck is the point of this?
I really wonder what the point of it is.
No, actually, I'm pretty sure I've told this story on Unprofessional Podcast, but I'm going to tell it again. This wasn't originally a Naughty Dog project.
No, it wasn't.
This was originally a project that was done by a very small team who was sort of trying to develop a new studio for Sony. Originally, this is going to be a Drake's Fortune remake. However, they didn't have the skills or the budget, and they didn't think they would get enough of a budget to really do it. So they decided to do The Last of Us first, maybe package it in with The Last of Us Part 2, and then they would do an Uncharted remake down the line. And they thought, and so, Sony said, okay, yeah, go for it. They started working on it. And then when The Last of Us Part 2 was finished, some people from Naughty Dog started working on it. And so they were like, oh, great, we're getting people from Naughty Dog to help out this on us. Awesome. And then more and more started coming as other projects and things were being done. And then eventually they just thought, oh, they're just giving this to Naughty Dog. This is just another Naughty Dog project. It was so demoralizing that 80% of the people who were on the group, who were in that group, resigned from Sony. It was just so demoralizing for them. So yeah, that's if that stayed the same, I could see the point of this being made, with them being brought on to Sony or to Naughty Dog.
But the fact
all I can say is, fuck you, Sony.
Yeah, but the fact that they've not even recorded new lines. They've just taken the old recording. That to me says there's no new segments in this one. There's no new segments in this game. There's nothing new about the story.
Just Jesus Christ. This is the exact same story. Even the camera angles look near the same. Hell, what's the point of this? You can already get The Last of Us remastered on PlayStation Plus.
Yeah.
And it's also the fact this game is £70.
They are charging full price for a game that is no different.
That is fucking baffling. And what's worse for me is it's coming with less content because the multiplayer is being taken out of it.
It's actually that bad. It's that meme from the American version of The Office with Pam. Corporate wants you to find a difference between these two pictures. They're the same picture.
It's literally that.
I will say I've seen comparison videos of the two, and I will say I can tell this is from a ground-up remake. When I see the two next to each other, I can see the difference. I'm not going to pretend I can't. But
the problem is, though, they're so similar. There's basically no difference.
Yeah, it's so obvious that they just saw the first game and just said, "Yeah, copy that, just make it look better."
Yeah, it does.
Literally what they did.
It feels very lazy. I wouldn't say lazy because a lot of work went into this, but it feels very cheap.
In my opinion, it feels very safe.
Yeah, that's the word. It's safe. There is no risk in this.
Yeah.
And they know they're going to sell a load with it. I mean, admittedly, I'm taking the review because I think I can be the most objective out of the three of us.
Well, I could be objective, especially when it comes to two. Objectively, it's a bad game.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, also I want to spare you guys from it. One of us has to review this, so I'll take the bullet on it. But I will say, Ren was very happy that it's going to PC, which, Elliot, you got that prediction right solid.
I will at least give it this. At least we are getting a PC. It is coming to PC. It's something to give to the PC guys.
I think...
But I just think, just port the remastered.
I agree, but at the end of the day... Put it this way, Elliot. The fact this went to PC means PlayStation are very, very much set that they're looking to expand to the PC. So Bloodborne PC just got even more likelier, I'd say.
Screw you, Sony. Screw you for this.
Yeah, this was a really bad way to end the conference, I think.
Yeah, it was just a massive letdown.
Like, if you compare how elated we all felt with Elden Ring last year, compared to how deflating this one felt.
One other thing, this doesn't even feel like a big ender to the show. Like with all the other conferences, they always have a massive something big to end, or at least a bigger thing that they can show at the time. Even a state of plays know to do this. Jeff Keighley, it just stops.
Yeah,
it's almost like it treats it like the Game Awards, because at the Game Awards it ends obviously with the Game of the Year, so it's kind of expected that the final thing they show off wouldn't be groundbreaking. If you're going to do a gaming conference and you're going to say we're going to rival E3, you have to have a good ending. This is not a good ending.
No, I really, really disliked this ending. And the fact is, I feel like Jeff Keighley hasn't got how he's supposed to end these shows. I feel like a sense of he's trying to bring gaming to the mainstream, but in a way that panders to them but ignores the core fan base.
Yeah.
I feel like that's my big problem with him right now.
The thing is, though, This is so I can guarantee this is something that will only be seen by the core fan base. Even casuals will just watch E3.
But here's the thing about it, though. Jeff is going to be... Summer Games Fest next year will be an in-person event as well as a digital one. They're going to be going against E3, which means I think we're going to start having a bidding war next year for which companies are going to show up where. Now, that is potentially good for the industry. I'm hoping E3 is motivated to come back and really do something with this. Because I do not trust Jeff to be the future of these announcements. I do not trust him to really bounce getting all these things going. I don't trust him to say Sony can have a conference.
I wouldn't trust him to review an N64 controller.
No.
And he's really starting to get on my nerves in a lot of ways, particularly on how he's making. And admittedly, there's a lot of people that go into making these presentations, and it's who he can get, but at what time. But I kind of think, like, who decides what is this is a big announcement type thing, as opposed to I feel like even Microsoft kind of know what a big announcement is and where to place it in their presentations.
Yeah, it just really feels so thrown together at like the last minute.
And it also feels like Sony. It feels like it's the thing we said at the beginning. It's so mix and match that they're trying to please everyone. They'll end up pleasing no one.
Yeah.
So, what do you guys? How do you guys say this year's Summer Game Fest kickoff show was? Reese, I'll start with you.
Just very poor, bland, and boring.
Elliot?
I'll say this. This makes the bad state of plays look good.
Yeah, I really did not like this one. I did not have anything really good to say about it. I will say there were some highlights there. Shredder's Revenge, Neon White looked good. There's a couple of indie games that looked all right in it. And Metal Hellslinger is really good. And I'm glad they used this to advertise the demo, which I might not have caught otherwise. But other than that, that's all I can say about it that's good. I thought this one was just all over the place.
Yeah, it just feels like so random, like a collection of random games and demos thrown together.
I mean, I can understand if he didn't, not enough people came into the Summer's Game Fest, but it is just way too obvious that Jeff thinks this show so highly, and like he's so arrogant believing that it's going to be like that. This is going to be a massive thing, like almost like it's going to be an E3 killer. I could say now, E3 does not have enough competition to even be a threat to E3.
The weird thing is, though, the one thing he's got to do, he's got to not make the mistake that E3 made. He's got to decide what Summer Games Fest in person is going to be. Is it a consumer event? Is it an industry event? Or is it an industry event? E3's trying to straddle the line between those two, and it's not worked for them. Hence why they've had a bit of trouble in recent years. But that being said, I can see Summer Game Fest doing it even worse in that sense. I think they'll try to do the same thing, and it will go horribly wrong.
Yeah, definitely.
I think the fact that Last of Us was here and dated for September, we need to have a conversation about God of War now. Do we think God of War is still a 2022 game, or is this going to get pushed to 2023?
I mean, there has been articles saying it's been delayed.
Yeah, but I looked into that. There are some decent reasons to suggest the delay to 2023. But I also know other people said their sources say that they reckon are quite close to the project said, I don't know why they're saying that. I'm pretty sure this is still coming in 2022. So I think at the minute I'm a bit 50-50 on whether it's going to be 2022 or 2023.
I'm still going to very much disagree with your theory that's coming out in September. I do still believe it's going to be a holiday game.
I'm going to say I'm moving my expectation now. I do not believe it's coming in September anymore. Because...
Yeah, I personally think it'll be a holiday game as well now.
Yeah, I think it's going to be around mid-November, between mid-November and mid-December, personally.
I'm going to go early October. I think they're going to do the same sort of spacing out as there was between if it's coming in 2022, I believe they're going to do a similar spacing out like they did with Horizon and Gran Turismo 7. Now, those are only 2 weeks apart from each other. So I think 3 or 4 weeks apart, and you're going to really have a good one around that time. And that will also leave a couple of weeks before Forspoken comes out.
I don't know if I agree with you though, because with Horizon and Gran Turismo, they are insanely different games, so they will definitely meet different demographics. With The Last of Us and God of War, they are both distinctly PlayStation icons, so I feel like they're going to want to have a bit more of a break between the two, especially considering they're like more linear story games.
Yeah, same.
Alfie agrees.
Yeah,
but I could see it being in November. It would be very out of character for Sony because they don't tend to release their big game in November. The only time they've really done it was in 2020 with Demon's Souls and Spider-Man Miles Morales, but that was just because they needed them to coincide with the PlayStation 5 launch. So, but I mean, at the minute I'm 50-50. Does God of War make it 2022? Part of me thinks it will, because there were so many signs pointing to it. But part of me thinks maybe this is going to be 2023 now.
If we don't see anything by September, I'm gonna say no, it's 23.
I would go even more than that. I'd say if we don't see anything by July.
I wouldn't say by July because I think that's a little bit too early to rule it out completely.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think with July and August, it's still very possible that it can come out a few months from then. If it's not September, doesn't show itself by September, then yeah, it's going to be 2023.
Okay, so shall we discuss then? When do we think Nintendo Direct is Wednesday?
Well, we definitely need one before too long because I've got a lot of games releasing soon.
I'll say at the latest, it's gonna come out just before Three Hopes. I feel like Nintendo are gonna want to do a bit more promotion for that game.
That's the thing that which we've been playing the demo of, and it's and I'm proper. I'm proper enjoying it at the minute.
I've got the demo. I haven't played it yet. I'm gonna try and finally finish Three Houses before Three Hopes comes out.
Okay. Next game, but the next. I think this will be. I think this is the lowest we're gonna get for a while. I think the two Microsoft shows are gonna be a lot better. Than,
so here's a question: are there any games you think should have been shown during this, or you were kind of expecting to be?
I really thought God of War was going to be here, to be honest.
Same. Especially after Final Fantasy 16 got such a big push on last day to play.
Yeah. One thing I was kind of slightly hoping, I don't know, maybe because I'm in a massive binge of it right now, I was slightly hoping because that maybe we would get a bit more for Alan Wake 2. Seeing as we did get that at the Game Awards, but who knows, maybe Microsoft will want to talk about that themselves.
Okay.
Well, when's that supposed to be releasing? Alan Wake 2?
2023.
2023.
I thought because so far all we've got is a cinematic trailer 6 months ago. I thought maybe at the very least we could see like a bit more, maybe some of the game cutscenes or something.
Okay. What about? I kind of thought we might see. I don't know why I thought we might see this. What's it called? I actually thought Silent Hill might have been here, to be honest.
I feel like if we are gonna get that, it might be in a state of play, seeing as that's very much a PlayStation thing, and I have a feeling that in the next state of play, if we do get it, Silent Hill 2 will start off the show, and God of War will end it. Personally,
I think there is going to be a Sony. I think Sony's next day of play, if they're having one, soon, will be a God of War only focused one in 2 weeks. They
need to do something with God of War at this rate.
Yeah,
I I don't know about in 2 weeks. I'd probably say around July, personally.
They got to do something with God of War soon. They've got to come out and say, is this game coming out this year or is it delayed? I think they now or never got. I think it's. I'm not even that. You got to do it now, guys. You got to have some clarity about it. And my thought is, if God of War gets delayed to 2023, it's really a dull second half of the year, in my opinion. I mean, Nintendo would have some great stuff out the bat, but they'd be about the only ones really there.
Yeah.
Like, okay, let's... I'm trying to think, is there a... What's coming out in the second half of the year? I mean, that we're interested in. There's Splatoon 3, that's confirmed, and Pokemon...
Scarlet and Violet,
and from Metal Hellslinger that we like the look of.
I'm still certain that Bayonetta 3 comes out latter half of the year.
Yeah, I'm fairly confident that Bayonetta 3 is going to come out in the second half of the year, but I want to know when it's coming out, if you know what I mean.
I feel like we would get that in the next Direct, personally.
Yeah. That's going to be the talk about, because if it's not, put it this way, if it's not in the Direct, it's not coming out in 2022, and I think that would be a very big mistake at this point, considering that how long the game's been in development.
I can see it coming out in 22. Yeah, I can still see it coming out in 22 if it's announced in a September Direct, but if it says like November or December release. Because Nintendo do tend to announce the release dates very close to when the game is coming out.
Yeah, but I think with Bayonetta 3, you want a bit of a gap between them. I think of September Direct, and if it's coming out in October or November, that's a bit too quick.
Again, I said November, December.
Oh, yeah, no, to be fair, that would be a thing. And then we're also going to talk about Mario Rabbids. But then again, I think Nintendo has a few other surprises up their sleeve. But
yeah, I mean... We still have another Direct. We still have another 2 Directs this year.
But even if Nintendo doesn't have any more Directs this year, they do all their information by Twitter. They would have a decent year. They'd have, let's say Bayonetta 3 and Mario Rabbids are pushed to 2023, and this is all we're getting. We'd have Fire Emblem. We'd have.
Xenoblade 3.
Xenoblade 3 looks amazing.
Yeah,
Splatoon 3 and Pokemon. That's a good selection. I think they do need to talk about some things. They need to talk about, when does Advance Wars now come out?
That's my big worry about Advance Wars now, because it's supposed to be nearly completed now. I just don't want it to be cancelled.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be cancelled. I think because the reason they delayed it was because of the whole Ukraine thing. The question is though, how long can you feasibly hold this game off for? Because I don't think it's going to be possible for them to hold it off until that whole thing gets sorted out. I feel like it'll have to be early next year at the latest. I don't want it to be early next year. I want it to come out this year, but still.
No, I'm with Elliot on this one. I think it'll probably come out this year. I reckon it will come out in August or December. But it's a question. The more time that goes on, we are going to be asking ourselves: has this game been quietly cancelled?
Again, I don't think it is. It got cancelled very close to its release date.
Yeah, and someone was able to play it for a bit online. But that being said, okay, we'll be back on Monday with our thoughts on the Xbox show.
Yeah.
So and we'll decide at that. We're also going to decide at that point what's going to happen through the next coming days. Well, I mean, I reckon Xbox is going to be a better show than this one, if I'm honest.
I feel like it will be as well, mostly because Xbox actually know what the hell they're doing.
What about you, Reese? Do you think it's going to be a better show?
Oh, yeah, it'll definitely be better, just because of how many companies Microsoft have bought now, to show off games.
Well, we'll see you on Monday for this one. Thank you very much for joining us. Goodbye, guys.
Take care.
Goodbye, everyone.